Welcome to my channel. I'm your host Orkwazon, and I figured I'd make the last video of the year with a title called Another Year, Another Nothing. And yeah, this is pretty much in response to my lack of uploads this year. I've been going through a lot of emotional roller coasters and been trying to, I guess, feel myself out as far as my upwards success, which after a whole year, now I'm back down to level 1. But the way I see it, I'm in a prestige mode now. You know how you play Call of Duty, you go through all the levels, you get all the equipments you unlocked and everything, but then once you get that point in, you can do prestige. It's pretty much what I did with I guess my life choices and decisions, because I've been looking out for other people that well, of course, to a degree, some of them have my best interest in mind. They either couldn't deliver, or they ended up having to jump ship for a different factor altogether that's out of my control. And it's definitely been, like I said, an emotional roller coaster, and I'm good now. I just been working a lot this month specifically because the New Year's about to come over, and now with all these people coming to the restaurants and stuff. Of course, I'm there having to serve and please as I need to be, because I was back in the level 1, so now I'm getting just what I called for, a Christmas miracle for the year. And I needed it right when it was that desperate. And the spirit or universe, whatever you want to call it, they answered. They saw my trials and tribulations, and like, you know what, we'll give this man a break, but in response towards, of course, now putting in the work. And yeah, I've been trying to put more of my free time into, work. So that's pretty much what's been going on through the end of this year. And I just wanted to update with you guys that I'm not really sure where I'm going to go from here, if I'm going to keep continuing this channel or not, because obviously it's not something I've been too passionate in for a long time, and it's not even because I can't handle it or I don't want to be a part of it, but I just know it's on my end a lot of work and emotional uh, weight to pull out, and it would take quite amount of effort and focus to get into. And at this point, I feel like, for me personally, with all the experience and the trials and tribulations I've been through, it's not necessarily something I need to, spread out in public or at least share on my channel. But I don't want to give you guys false hope and then switch up and be like, hey guys, now here's all these details and information. I don't know. This channel is literally about me just going through life, through what I've learned through my mentor, and just moving on from there. And I have zero clue clearly how to run my own channel. And I want to apologize because, again, all these years ago, so many things could have been sort of made content out of, but I was already an opportunistic person on making action now rather than later, and not keeping logs and stuff to even remember some of the things. So as time goes on, it gets a little more of a puzzle to put together, which I'm clearly somebody that always been doing something like that over my whole life. I mean, I wouldn't have met my mentor Itachi if I didn't somehow see the signs and signals I needed to get to where I am at this point. And I just want to be very, very upfront and clear on just where my mindset is at with you guys, because I feel like you at least deserve that. The only other thing I have to offer is my old recording called One Man's Trash is Another Man's Treasure. And after looking back at it, I feel like it'd be a nice treat to finish off the New Year's with you guys. And I do want to apologize again for my lack of update and content, but hopefully maybe either get back into the rhythm or at least have a peace of mind knowing I've at least started off the New Year's my own way. So, with that said, hope you guys enjoy the audio, and don't forget, Org was on. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Now, this is the very first video I meant to upload on my channel for many years now, but it's been in the back burners because I procrastinated, like you would do in high school and other things. But yeah, in reality, I'm glad that that was the case, because now those words have a much deeper meaning to me than even I could realize now, through my experience with a very specific individual whose content I already uploaded before mine. And I'm grateful to even had the privilege to interact with this individual, and you could tell through even some of his content that there's my influence in his channel. Like, for example, if you know my mentor, he went by Tachi Reloaded for the most part. He had a much more, I won't say darker tone, but a more direct, cutthroat, straightforward idea of how reality works, especially here in America, and in difference from there for Middle Eastern, because he's a Middle Eastern guy. And you know, it's stuff like that. But it's details that I'm not really trying to go into. But the more basic idea I wanted to give you guys on is just someone like him, you know, who's from a whole nother country, you know, because I'm an American, and I'm as far as everyone else is concerned, I'm just your average Joe, living in privileged country. But honestly, you know, as privileged as I am, I guess, I've took advantage of a lot of things that life's given to me, and I've tried to use it in a way that's good for everybody and everybody can treasure. And the way I was able to express myself and the way I was able to move forward was inspiring enough that even my own mentor treasured what I did. And honestly, something like that, words can't even explain how much I treasured it. So it was quite a crazy endeavor that we went through, and you could tell from that, because, you know, at the end of all his videos, at the very end, like, it went through a lot more of a more peaceful, more reserved, like, he didn't care about chasing or doing what it takes to get all the achievements, because at the end of the day, you know, sometimes the price is way more than what the treasure is valued. But at the end of the day, it's comes along the lines of one man's trash is another man's treasure. So at least for him, as far as what my dreams were and what I want to do and how I represent myself, you know, it's a lot different than what he probably realized by the end of all of it. And it's something I've had to kind of realize for quite a while, and I definitely would try to go more into in my series called Character Connections, which is why I'm taking as much time as possible to be more proficient in my skills to make a better content for you guys. Because, again, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and I want to be able to do whatever I can to let you guys treasure what I've treasured for years now. Because while yes, it's always nice to have nice things and to be able to say, yeah, I was there, but it's a whole nother thing to be able to actually feel the, I guess, impact and the spirit that comes with doing the right thing, or
doing what you truly believe was your goal and your purpose in this world, and that's something you're able to truly treasure. And even if somewhere down the line it's taken away from you, you know, something that you once treasured now to you looks trash. I mean, if you're still able to remember the good times, and or at the very least remember the thrill you had going through that, I mean, at the end of the day, it's never something that was wasted, even if it is trash in reality, because you did what you had to do. And that's truly how I feel throughout all this. And yeah, I don't know if I really made much wisdom through this video, but yeah, it's just something, those words just keep echoing my head, and it's something I've been really wanting to, I guess, finally let go and let out, because it's I've been in stagnation for too long, and for good reasons too. But I know it's not best for me to, you know, pretend like I'm a piece of garbage, or feel like everything's already crumbled as if I'm a piece of trash, because no one should have to feel like that. No one should even treat others that way, like they are. But the reality is that's how it is in the society, you know. And a great example I wanted to be able to use would be from this show called Mobile Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans. There's this character called Akihiro, and he's a great example of the whole term one man's trash, another man's treasure, because this dude in the show, he's pretty much like the powerhouse, the guy that keeps working and busting and doing whatever he can for his corp or his crew. And it's pretty much almost like a representation of how we are, you know, like, and as Americans, for example, we always work, we always do what we gotta do to get the bills. But for him, it's a lot more extreme, because he's literally views himself as useless, because he is like identified as a human debris. And in that show, basically, human debris is equivalent to being a slave, pretty much, or something that's not even like trash. Like you're space dust as far as the other person's concerned. Whether you live or die is if you're useful or not. And unfortunately for his case, spoiler by the way, if you want to watch the show again, Mobile Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, great show. His backstory was that his family was taken away from him because of some space pirates that broke into, I guess, his ship and took away his brother and killed off his parents, and he pretty much had to immediately work to live at that point. And throughout the show, he ends up going through different like trades and stuff, because, you know, that's how it was back then. When you gotta live, you know, you gotta do whatever you can to survive. And as far as the other person's concerned, you were property. So yeah, after all those years, Akihiro would end up looking at himself thinking that he's just a human debris, you know, when he's actually the most one of the MVPs of the show. Let's just say that much, you know what I'm saying? But like you could tell he never is boastful about it. He never has that ego about it, even like I'm showing right now. But that's just because I respect how reserved someone like him is, because that's just how a lot of people are these days, because that's just something we would have to go through. Like, not even saying that, oh yeah, we're just garbage or whatever, and that's how we should feel. But it's like, in some extreme cases, that's exactly how the product would be, you know? And I honestly feel like I'm at that kind of state, and I can relate with Akihiro that way, Because, you know, when you're told for so many years that, you know, you gotta do this or you gotta do that, you know, you're pressured into doing something just to survive, there's gonna be a point, you know, where you put yourself in so much pressure and you get through so many things, but then it's like, it doesn't even feel fulfilling anymore because, you know, you already put yourself in a position where it's like, yeah, this is something I gotta do, otherwise it's over. And it's something I've still gotta understand and recognize to this day. You know, I've had my own path, and my mentor chose his, and I'd love for you guys to follow along my journey to know my kind of path that I took compared to his. But that'll be in future videos. The reality is, though, is that I just wanted to bring out this video to give you guys an idea of how I've valued things in my life and how you guys should realize things and try to value things. Because you know, even if you realize you're just being used, you know, if you keep that mind state going for too long, you know, you'll just end up underappreciating yourself to where you don't need to be. Because honestly, you're doing something great. If you know you're doing something great, then, you know, you should feel rewarded for it. You shouldn't feel like it was something that you had to do. But, you know, that's something that not everybody gets a chance to have. So again, like I say, one man's trash, another man's treasure.